blessed us with another day, Thursday. I'm Will Sutton. The Lord has woke me up and given me another opportunity to walk his good earth, planted my feet on the floor, made sure I got on over to this Block Talk radio station, and I am happy to be here with you. And here with me, right next to me, is my longtime friend. I even knew her before her name's changed. Tammy
Good
C.
morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh boy, nice to see you again.
It's good to see you.
Oh boy, there's so much going on, and there always is. But we got quite a lot of stuff today.
Wow.
Yeah, we got quite a lot of stuff today. So Essence has been in the news every year as people wait for the show's info, like who's going to be here,
Yes, that's
and they
important.
look for who are the either celebrity or high profile people who will be here, and of course they look for hotel rooms
Yes.
and these days Airbnbs or short-term rentals, since it's not only Airbnb, and they also look for the tickets. Okay, I know I'm going to pay. I know I'm going to pay. How much
How
do I
much?
need to budget? Or maybe it's not a budget. I just go in my bank account and I'm just pulling out the money, and
Yes.
I'm not even caring about it because I've got to get some essence in my life.
Yes.
So uh, this year is the end of the agreement, Essence, with the city for hosting Essence in New Orleans. So last year there were a lot of things that didn't go well. It was a great Essence. Unfortunately, there were so many things that didn't go well that it kind of overshadowed a really good Essence.
Yes.
And it became a national story as people were commenting all over social media, of course, and that's a lot of what a lot of us do these days. A lot of very negative stuff, and then some people weighing in and said, "It's not that bad. I had a great time, but it wasn't quite balanced."
Exactly.
Yeah, and so um, as Essence got closer, more and more people said, "Essence, you got to be better, better, better." And we appreciate everything you've done for us, but you got to be better than 2025. I went, and I've been going. This was the first time I went day and night each day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I got to say, I won't be doing that
That's
again.
a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. Maybe I would have been better doing this at 35.
Maybe.
But I tell you, uh, these days doing that, nah. At least I got to bed by 1 a.m., 1:30, but long, long, long day, and sitting down for a break every now and then wasn't
Right.
enough.
You had just a little more.
Yeah, I needed my nap. I needed my bed, and well, that's when it went. Well, more recently, since Essence Fest, well, actually, before Essence Fest, the city sent to Essence Fest a letter saying, "Here's some things we need to know.
Hmm.
Have you paid your bills?
That's crucial.
Have you locked down the entertainers? Have you made sure that you have everything in place for this year's Essence Festival?" And that's between them, so to speak, them being Essence and the city,
Yes.
specifically the mayor's office. So I don't know if they answered all those questions. I don't think that was ever reported that they answered this, but not that. I do know that there was a concern on Essence's part that at least part of what they were asking for was proprietary info that would be a not a good business move to
Mm.
put it out there. On the other hand, the city was like, because of the long history and the recent kerfuffles, the we need to know these things as we look to the summer and the future. So they've been talking. The mayor formed a steering committee. Secured steering committee has been meeting, and according to a story by my colleague, Times Picayune NOLA.com reporter Blake Patterson, that went on last night in the paper today. Uh, Looks like there's been another letter in recent days requesting some specific things from Essence and gave them a deadline of today.
Wow, today's the deadline.
Today is the deadline. So, my summary, without seeing the letter, so let's be clear, it's not like I've read the letter. I've done my reporting based on what I've read in Blake Patterson's story, looking at some past coverage, talking to some people uh, somewhat close to the situation, and I have a better idea now of what's going on. And that steering committee suggested the possibility of another festival on July 4th weekend.
Another festival?
Yes, not two festivals on that weekend, a different festival
Different.
on that weekend. And if that were to be the case, it would be a competitive process in which Essence could choose to participate or not. That is a big wrinkle.
That is a huge wrinkle.
That is a big, big wrinkle. So, been in touch with Essence folks off and on for the last few years. They've been kind enough to reach out periodically. And I'm happy to say we have with us this morning none other than Kurt McDonald. Kurt McDonald is the CEO of Sundial Media and Technology Group, and it's the company home to Essence, Refinery 29, Somos, Afropunk, and Beautycon. I want to emphasize those names because a lot of people think what they do is Essence Festival. It is not. They do multiple things
Wow.
as a part of their business model, and Essence Fest is one of those. So Kurt has been in media, marketing, technology, at all kinds of places, including Group M, North America, and Warner Media. So brother's got some experience.
Yes.
All right. Well, he's decided to join us this morning. Good morning, Kurt. You're on with Will Sutton and Tammy C. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Brother Will. Good morning, Sister Tammy. It is a pleasure to be on with you all this morning. I always enjoy the perspective that you bring in your conversations with the community. So thank you for having us, for allowing us to be here.
All right. So first of all, did I say anything incorrectly about you?
Yeah, you've not said anything incorrectly about me.
Okay.
Been around for a while and excited to have the responsibility of stewarding for these chapters, these really important, iconic brands and institutions in culture.
All right. Well, Kurt, let's hop into it.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't know if you have seen Blake Patterson's story. Went online sometime yesterday, and it's on the front page of the paper today. And he's reporting about the mayor's steering committee sending a letter to Essence, I think sometime last week, and
Yeah.
providing some request. I'll say it that way: request, asking for some specific things and providing a deadline. And if I'm wrong about deadline versus request by, tell me. But that deadline is today. And they also are suggesting, and this is from the city attorney on behalf of the steering committee, they also are suggesting the possibility of a change in the festival. So, an open competitive scenario where Essence could compete. That's my summary of what I see is going on. Just give us an update. What is going on?
Again, I believe excellent reporting by your colleague and this network, this station, that would reflect our understanding of what's been submitted both as a letter as well as the coverage that we see today. I'd love to say this, and think we've been consistent with this. There has been a 30-plus year, 3-decade-plus relationship between Essence and the city of New Orleans, state of Louisiana. And the desire of this company, this organization, this institution that has been built up there is to remain and stay in New Orleans. We will and are formally responding to the mayor's team, to the steering committee, and we remain engaged in conversations with them. I mean, our goal at this point, and has continued to be, productive discussions, productive live discussions to find a path forward, is what we remain engaged in doing, right? I would say that across multiple mayoral and gubernatorial administrations, kind of regardless of politics, party, there's always been the shared appreciation of each other and an understanding of what the Essence Festival means to our community and to New Orleans, Louisiana, and actually to the people and businesses that help bring the festival to life and have an opportunity to build and grow their own businesses off of this. So I do look forward to continuing the conversations in a way that have us give the seriousness of this relationship the proper respect it's due, and that there's a relationship forward that respects the relationship that was built over all these generations, right? So if we do that, I think we're going to be in a great place.
Okay. Appreciate that. Sounds like, at least on behalf of Essence, there's no animosity. You have always said that Essence belongs in New Orleans and plans to stay. But, one of the things that has been recent concerns on Essence's part is the financial assistance is no longer enough. I believe the number is somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 35% increase in costs in recent years for Essence to pull this off. And you all have requested $10 to $12 million from however they put it together, city, state, nonprofit, for-profit, so that you can make up for the high percentage of increase in costs and also expand Essence's footprint, if you will. But one of the things that some city officials and others say, for the amount of money that has supported Essence historically, it's not reasonable to ask for $10 to $12 million. And if you insist on $11 to $12 million, they might, not that they will, they might walk in the direction of a competitive process. How do you feel about that even being introduced?
So I'm going to try to not give sort of feeling response, but I'd love to go to some facts, right? So let's go to some facts, right? So between 2022 through 2025, there's been close to $1.3 billion of economic impact delivered by the festival. There have been over 11,000 jobs supported in that same window of time through 2025. Um, Nearly $180 million in taxable revenue generated 2022 through 2025. Just 2025 alone, the year of what will be called the kerfuffle and missteps, there were $321 million of economic impact and 2,400 jobs supported in New Orleans. Visitors to the city, 78% of the attendees come from outside of the market and spend $253 million in and through the city that we love. So we are confident that there's economic impact that is being driven, and this is done out of an independent study through that we do every year as part of doing this festival. We bring in independents to do and go through this matter. That's
I believe that's
up through
Dillard, right?
2025.
That's Dillard
That's
University.
with Dillard
Okay.
University,
All right.
historically Black University, Dillard.
Mhm.
So let me do that. And I don't want to deflect from your question. How do we feel about the request? The proposal of what was called Festival 365 was in response to and to align around meeting and discussions with then Mayor-elect Moreno's vision for let's do more than just entertain, which has always been our mission. So we know that the festival does a good job of entertaining, but also make sure that the weekend was about education, empowerment, things that would actually leave the community better all the time than just it having this experience of joy. Joy still being at the core of this, but by creating betterment for the community, which is now the hours of programming that go into the day. So 410 sessions this year, 25 stages, 255 hours of programming, all in the convention center that saw around 50,000 daily convention center check-ins every day. That's actually a bigger part of this. And Festival 365's response was, okay, if we don't just want to have this be the weekend impact, but could also be something that could exist all year long, which is what the 365 meant, we would need a greater partnership to be able to get to that. That's what this request is. And it's not a request to the city. It is actually a request that says, let's actually figure this out across city, state, local, regional supporters, all coming together, forming a host committee so that when the impact is generated, we actually are very specific about making sure that happens. That was Festival 365. We've submitted that and would love to actually engage in dialogue about it. And that's where that has come from. So if the response is the collective investment across city officials or city, state, and others to support us expanding this into something like Festival 365 is not the desire, that's a conversation. I think that's to us healthy dialogue, and we would happily sit down to understand, well, okay, then what should that investment be? Let's recognize that this is happening at a time where the economics of producing major events like this have changed significantly, right? Production and public safety costs have risen. Corporate investment in cultural platforms, particularly Black cultural institutions, has gone in the other direction. While costs have gone up, you've seen a lot of pullback, right? And other festivals have been forced to either scale back or pause or disappear completely. It is really important to us that this festival not go away. It is really important to us that the house that we built together, that New Orleans and Essence built together over 30 years, over 3 decades, remain standing and thriving and supporting the communities that come to it. So we believe the partnership can continue to work, but it requires dialogue, and we are here. We have been ready. We want to engage in what that partnership needs to move forward.
Kurt, are you responding to the last week's request today to give them the information that they asked for?
Yes, we will respond to the letter from the steering committee today because again we remain committed to that. We've been asking for meetings to discuss moving forward before we had festival this year. We've been asking for time to sit down with the steering committee since we were in New Orleans for July 4th. We got the
I'm
letter
sorry,
last
Kurt. I'm
week, and
sorry,
we'll
Kurt.
respond now.
Kurt, I'm sorry. Are you saying you've been asking for a steering committee meeting since July and you haven't had one?
We've been asking to meet and discuss. We got the letter last week. We'll respond to the letter, and we will continue any dialogue that the city and the steering committee want to have with us.
So there has not been a meeting with Essence and the steering committee since the festival. Meeting, not
We
letter.
have been in conversations, Will, but we have not had a formal steering committee meeting. We got the letter last week, and we will respond to the letter.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have to go to a break, and then we're going to have Congressman Troy Carter coming on. I'm going to hit you with this one last thing. Obviously,
Yes, sir.
things are not the same now in the city as they were for the last several years with finances. We're digging out of debt. We have a state legislative auditor basically living here, looking over the mayor's back, the CEO's back, the finance people. There's much closer attention than has been before. So those people beyond the mayor and her team are going to have to be satisfied as well. Are y'all ready for that close examination?
Absolutely. We don't have any issue with a close examination. The relationship that we have, like I said, has gone through many administrations, and it is supported by the facts of the work. And we're happy to actually lean into the facts of the work. The solution going forward is more dialogue, more understanding, more willingness to actually put all 10 toes down to say that we're committed to doing this. Also committed to actually serving the committee and scaling the impact that we have. If there's not a desire to actually expand to a 365 program, there's a desire to do something different. We just want to actually understand that. And we are happy to respond to those things and make sure that we're partners to continuing to build on the foundation that has been here for 3+ decades. So that is not something that is of concern.
All right. Well, thank you, Kurt McDonald from Essence Festival and much, much more that you all do. I think it's important that people know that Sundial and you and Rich Dennis and others work on year-round Essence Festival and also year-round on several other festivals and events. I think we are so caught up in Essence because this is our Essence Festival, but it's an important part of your portfolio, but it's not the only one. So thank you for joining us this morning and providing some context for our WBOK family of listeners. Lord's blessings, sir. Have a great day. Look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, Brother Sutton. Thank you, Sister Tammy. Appreciate your time today. Thank you for giving us some space. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Take care.
Okay, folks, we're going to break and we got to get to Congressman Troy Carter. If it's Thursday, it's time for our Congressman on WBOK. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Thursday morning, I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. New Orleans police search for a suspect wanted for a deadly shooting in a busy strip mall parking lot. It happened on Wednesday at a business near the intersection of Crowder and Lake Forest Boulevard. One man who works in the area says he heard a gunshot around 11 a.m. The car that was shot at then crashed into a small electrical utility building next to a furniture store. New Orleans police say they found the man in the driver's seat dead at the scene. New Orleans police are also searching for a suspect in a triple stabbing in Holly Grove. Investigators say 3 people were hurt in the stabbing just before noon on Wednesday. It happened on South Carrollton Avenue near Costco. The victims were taken to the hospital, and the incident is still under investigation. Now, if you know anything about either of these crimes, call Crime Stoppers. You know the number. It's 504-822-1111. Now, despite the violence, the Metropolitan Crime Commission shows most crime is down in New Orleans. So far this year, there have been 99 shootings and 55 homicides. This same time last year, there were 130 shootings and 83 homicides. And a 70-year-old man is waking up behind bars this morning, accused in several rape cases. Roger Hamilton is facing 3 counts of second-degree rape and 1 count of aggravated kidnapping. The charges are tied to 3 separate incidents which police say happened in 1997, 2008, and 2013. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. And have a great day.
Psst, come close. No, closer. Have you heard about the new blues show? It's the Blues Buffet with Jay Boogie, serving up all the blues you love to listen to.
Hey, New Orleans, it's Jay Boogie inviting you to join me for the Blues Buffet, the best soul blues mix on the planet. Happening Saturday night at 9 o'clock, right here at 12:30 a.m. WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Losing a loved one is tough enough. Do you really want your family dealing with court battles and paperwork on top of it?
Whether you choose a will or a trust, think ahead. Take care of your family. Let them focus on healing instead of headaches. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
Hear that? That's Alka-Seltzer, the sound of fast heartburn relief. Because when heartburn hits, you want something that works fast. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets start neutralizing stomach acid in seconds, so nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Next time, when that burning feeling comes on strong, don't wait. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Try Alka-Seltzer. Use as directed.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This summer, the place to be is downtown. From incredible restaurants and shopping to retail, wellness, and so much more. Enjoy special offers and discounts from participating downtown businesses all season long. Brought to you by the Downtown Development District. Whether it's after work, date night, or weekend fun, there's always something happening downtown. Plan your next outing at participating locations like Coppervine, Mother's, the Audubon Aquarium, and Riverwalk Outlets. Visit downtownnola.com. Summer starts here.
Wake up and join us on the Good Morning Show every first and third Friday at 8 a.m. to hear our friends at New Orleans & Company, the official destination sales and marketing organization for New Orleans and a driving force behind our city's cultural economy. Learn more at www.neworleans.com.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Today is a WDSU First Warning Weather Alert Day. We are tracking heavy rain for the first half of the day with the potential for redevelopment for the second half of the day. Any of the storms could be strong to severe with the potential for street flooding. Because of rain, highs only reach the mid to upper 80s today. A few more storms possible for Friday afternoon, with those highs reaching the upper 80s to low 90s. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reshaw.
Good morning. Wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Tammy C.
Good morning, everybody.
And it's 7:32 a.m. Well, Blake Patterson broke quite the story yesterday online, and then the front page of the Times-Picayune today. And if you've been listening, you got an update about what's happening with the Essence Festival negotiations, the Mayor's Steering Committee. And this morning we heard from Kurt McDonald from Essence about his perspective, their perspective on what's going on, saying that they want to be here and they like to talk about their Essence 365 proposal. They've been wanting a meeting, in-person meeting with the steering committee, but since July. But that has not happened. Yet they're still talking, but not an in-person meeting. Well, sometimes that goes that way, I guess, in negotiations. And one of the folks who has been pitching hard on working this out and not losing a gem for the city of New Orleans is our 2nd District Congressman Troy Carter. Good morning, Congressman. You're on with Will Sutton and Tammy C. How are you?
Good morning, Will. Good morning, Tammy C. I love it.
Good morning.
So I don't know if I know you're busy, so I don't know if you caught much of Kurt's comments, but I'm sure you're well aware of the ongoing talks about Essence, and now there's some more information that's public with the city asking for more specific information with a deadline of today. And I can't say what that is because I haven't seen the letter, but Blake included that in his story. And also the possibility of a competitive festival RFP. Any updates, thoughts on your part?
Yeah, I don't have any updates, but I'll give you my thoughts.
Okay.
The things have changed. The city's finances are significantly strained. Our relationship with the state significantly strained. So we've got to do things a little different. We've got to explore ways to make this work. The mayor has a very difficult challenge on her hand. She's got to balance a budget that is upside down while maintaining city services, while managing a governor who seems to have the city of New Orleans in the eye of his target, instead of being a helper to the state, to the city rather. It appears to be at odds. So all of those things combined couldn't be come at a worse time for this magnificent festival who I have not been shy about being very supportive of. I was on the city council along with when Mark Morial was mayor, when the very first Essence Festival came to New Orleans. It's going to be a 1-year thing that morphed into 5, that now has morphed into 30. There's been a lot of goodwill that's been built. Essence has made a tremendous investment in this festival, goodwill built, and I think every effort should be made to keep them. But there's going to take a coordinated effort on all parts. I believe firmly that we should not lose Essence. My position has not changed, albeit I totally understand the constraints and the challenges of what is being requested of the city and or state and or ancillary partners. I think the ancillary partners still have a responsibility to step up, particularly now because the city is in a financial position that they just can't. But that doesn't mean that the other ancillary partners can't step up. It doesn't mean that the state, the lieutenant governor, the governor, the New Orleans and Company, the Greater New Orleans Foundation, the whole shooting match, our whole tourism apparatus, recognizing that Essence came to New Orleans at a time when the sweltering month of July was very difficult on tourism. And then all of a sudden they came and people were shopping and people were staying in hotels and eating in restaurants and spending money, and small vendors are engaged in entrepreneur activities that are giving them a chance to make some money. Our culture bearers are being highlighted on the national and international scene, giving us a venue to talk about the rich culture of our communities, of our culture, of our organizations. That's priceless. You can't put a price tag on that. So I would say, as I said in my op-ed
earlier this
a few weeks ago, that was also highlighted in Blake's article in the Advocate this morning, that I think we owe a bit of an opportunity and have a bit of a responsibility to do whatever we can to keep this festival in New Orleans, to keep an Essence festival, to be clear, in New Orleans. If that can't happen, let's just say if that can't happen, I think the city is wise, and the steering committee is wise to explore other alternative options if negotiations break down, because we cannot afford to not continue to have this festival. Now, I will tell you, we cannot afford to continue not having an Essence festival. But if we can't have an Essence festival, we've got to have a music culture festival. And I'm hopeful that the communications, the talks, the negotiations will go in a way that will allow us to continue to enjoy the 30-year investment that both Essence has made in this community and we have made in Essence. The people deserve our due diligence and communication to get us to the point that we can once again enjoy the benefits of this great cultural extravaganza.
Well, Congressman, as you well know, New Orleans is a great economic driver for the entire state of Louisiana, and this metro area, New Orleans and surrounding areas, accounts for more than 25% of the state's gross domestic product, and sometimes higher. And part of the way we do that is from some of the hospitality and tourism, and then other businesses in the city and in the area, taking Essence Festival out of that mix, especially during a slow time. Seems like that wouldn't be a good idea, but how well do you think I'm not being funny, but an Essence Light Festival, Essence Light, or a Essence Festival that is trunk, or something so totally new, people don't know what to expect, and they may or may not attend.
I mean, that's always a risk. That's always a risk. And in my estimation, is not optimal. It's not. What is optimal is that we are able to come to terms that are realistic and create a win-win scenario where everyone has to maybe tighten their belt a little bit. Maybe everyone's expectations have to be managed a little bit. The optimal situation would be, I don't think anyone disagrees with, the optimal situation would be to stay with the tried and true 30-year product that people clearly love, albeit Essence has had some problems in the past. But I will tell you, from my vantage point and from everyone else's vantage point that I've spoken to, they have gone a very long way to correct the errors from the previous year, not this just year, but 2025 Essence, and have made tremendous corrections. And from my understanding, are willing to make even more and to make other concessions along the way of greater ability for our local vendors to have opportunities to spend and sell their wares or to showcase their talent, giving opportunities for greater involvement with our culture bearers, making sure that the show runs on time, making sure that we are really highlighting the local people as a way of including them in this festival. All things that I think are very doable. And again, I'll really double down on things have changed, so there has to be some changing in the formula. But I think at all costs, the changing of the formula should not change the players.
One more thing on Essence. The request for $10 to $12 million in support. I have to say, as much as I love Essence, that seems unreasonable. What's your thought about the request and where we need to be?
Well, it's a lot of money, and it's very difficult for me to analyze if it's too much, what's it for, without being able to look into the numbers. I will tell you it is a big investment. I will tell you that the city and state, and I'm glad you mentioned that the state has to recognize that when these resources in the way of tax dollars being spent in New Orleans, they don't all stay in New Orleans. The state enjoys heftily. Other parts of our state enjoy the benefits of the financial gain that comes from the city of New Orleans. And that's why the state has to see us as a partner, not as a competitor. To attack the mayor and the city council is not a good thing. The governor should be working hand in hand, wanting to help the mayor and the city council get out of the financial strain that they're in, not add to it. Listen, whatever the battle was, whatever the arguments were, whatever the challenges were, man, everybody's got to get over this. We're in this to win this, and if the city of New Orleans fails, the whole state fails. And this notion that the city thinks they're this, the city thinks they're that, that's third-grade talk. We need to be bigger than that. We need to be smarter than that. We need to put the people's interests first, and just stop all this foolishness that's coming out of Baton Rouge, constantly attacking our city. And the state cannot cut its nose off to spite its face. They enjoy those revenues. Those revenues are very clear. People see it. They go to pay for roads and bridges and police and fire and other city and state services throughout the state of Louisiana. So the state has to really step up. We know they've stepped up big time before. We know they step up for other festivals around the state. We know they step up for to attract Super Bowls and Final Fours and other festivals and medical conventions and other conventions that fill our convention center. Hell, we just gave the whole state away to SpaceX giveaway. So they've got to come to the table.
Okay.
They've got to come to the table, and they've got to help the city. And listen, I don't know. $12 million certainly sounds like a lot of money. But unless I've got a spreadsheet in front of me and I'm reading in between the lines, I'm a numbers guy. I got to be able to read through it to determine where this is going, what's it for, how does that work, and if it's too much, then we got to ratchet it back. If it's absolute needed, then we have other parties come to the table to help address it. But it's very difficult to just on the surface say it's too much, too little, without knowing, all of the details.
So it's possibly just enough.
Possibly.
All right. Well, Congressman, we want to talk to you about some other things that you've have going on because there's always other things, and I like how you bring to light some things that might not be on the front page. Tammy C.
Yes, Congressman. I personally want to thank you for the work that you've been doing to expand the LCMC Cancer Center. Why is it important for us to do that at this time?
Well, Tammy C., let me tell you, thank you for bringing that up. That is one of the, I'm so excited. Louisiana continues to be one of the leaders, unfortunately, in people with cancer. Our cancer rates are among the highest in the country. LCMC does an incredible job with their cancer center. This expansion literally will double the amount of access that people will have to seek care. Cancer isn't going away, unfortunately. But what's getting better is that people aren't dying as soon or as much as they did before because we're spending money and time in research. National Institute of Health has been phenomenal in spending the resources to continue to find ways to mitigate, if not eliminate, cancer. And a part of that is preventive care and early care. The LCMC Cancer Center, in conjunction with Tulane and LSU research docs, will give us that opportunity. So I was very proud to be able to help secure an additional $2 million for this expansion. We did a big ribbon cutting just a few days ago. Very excited about what this means for the community. Very excited that in this time when Medicaid, Medicare, healthcare is being challenged, that this is a center that will be accessible to everyone. And I can't emphasize nor underscore, italicize, or bold out the significance of LCMC in its ability to be inclusive in providing these resources to the general public. I'm very excited, very grateful for the partnership, very excited to be able to once again demonstrate what happens when government works with our healthcare industries to include everyone to fight against this dreaded cancer.
Congressman, one of the things that is ongoing, it was more in the news some months ago, was what the ICE and other like agencies were doing, and some of it made big news when people were killed and injured, and there were vicious attacks, breaking windshields and busting up cars and running people down and all of that. But I think with that coverage, we often didn't look at the impact on those people's kids. And oftentimes they were overlooked as they were incorporated in a system that they had no responsibility for. And you've been working on something dealing with the federal detention capacity for these unaccompanied children. Give us some insight on that.
We recently penned a letter, myself along with 75 other members of Congress, the Democratic Party, to Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. and Border Patrol Commissioner Rodney Scott to query them on their policies and to demand that they come before our committees of jurisdiction and explain to us what the hell are they doing. You're talking about building more and more of these facilities, and now the contractors are working on building facilities for for unaccompanied minors because you're taking their parents and now you want to create essentially a children's camp. I mean, this is ridiculous. I was in Maine a week and a half ago, where there was for a field hearing with Homeland Security to talk about another ICE infraction where a person that was not violating any laws, who was properly here in our country, was killed by ICE because they thought he was someone else. Then you have this new, and we'll talk about this maybe on another show, this new process that ICE is developing where they are going to spend $20 million on a no-bid contract to provide these electrocharged gloves that essentially have the power of a taser, but in your hands. So when you grab someone, you send electric shock. And we've asked for information on that as well. What happens if it's an elderly person with a heart condition? What happens if it's a pregnant woman? What happens if it's a child? What happens if it's a person that has some other issues? What kind of training are you having these people go through? And I only bring that up in conjunction with what the letter is about these detention centers because what it does is it denotes how ill-prepared, how callous, and how little they care about the American people. How little they care about people, period. People who've gone through the process. Children who were born here, who are in fact citizens. And as you know, many of the people that have been attacked by ICE have been citizens. People holding their passports and ICE agents saying they didn't give a damn. This is so far out of control, and we have to keep talking about it. We have to keep challenging them. We don't have the luxury of saying, oh, we don't have the votes. That's why, every day of my life, I'm in their face about something, challenging them on the ill policies of this Trump administration. And my other colleagues across the country are doing the same. In their faces saying, we're not going to just be quiet just because you have the votes, just because this president boasts that he controls the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court. Guess what? Maybe you do. But we've had tougher challenges before. We had Jim Crow. We had haters that wouldn't let us vote. We had people that enslaved our people. We're going to get through this because we're never going to quit. And so, yes, this letter challenges them to answer the tough questions about the pockets they're lining by building these for-profit prisons and watching the money make its way back into the coffers of Donald Trump's campaign and others in the way of contributions and or crazy business partnerships. Listen, we have to continue to fight them. And that's what this letter does. And we've also put a time frame on it that we are requesting that they have some answers to us on these facilities within 30 days. That spells out the what, when, where, and how of how they're going to function. Who's doing the work? What's the contractors? What are we doing with these kids who happen to be citizens? What kind of living conditions are we talking about? Are we creating a mini child prison? This is inhumane.
It even sounds horrible. Congressman, I know we only have a few more minutes. Tammy C has a question for you.
Yes, Congressman, and I hope you get the answer to those questions because I believe they're very important. Coming up today, you have something that you wanted to talk about, the Community Resource Fair today at the Conference Center at the University Medical Center. What can people find there? What is this all about?
Tammy, thank you. You're knocking it out the park with these good questions this morning. So the very timely. I'm very happy that today we will be having 11:30 to 2. It's 2 p.m. I'll be hosting my Medicaid Resource Fair. It'll be at the University Medical Conference Center on the first floor. This is a big deal because we're going to have a room full of resources. completely free of charge. We see what's happening with this big, ugly law. We see that people are being taken off the rolls. We see that the process is causing people through the bureaucratic, and I say man-made, bureaucratic or Trump-made bureaucratic traps that are causing people to fall through the cracks with their paperwork, not the eligibility, but their paperwork. And so what we're doing at this resource fair today is we're going to have answers for all your questions that people may have. We'll have noted experts in every field of healthcare. We'll have multiple stages of local and federal government agencies that will be present. We'll have Medicaid, Medicare experts on the ground to answer questions, to help people get their paperwork back in order. And just so you know, Tammy, we're going to be doing this as the rollout becomes more and more active. As you know, the Trump administration backrolled the effects of the big ugly law so people wouldn't see them until after the midterm elections. So we're waking people up to the fact that don't be hoodwinked just because you haven't been hit by this big ugly law policy yet. It's coming. They've intentionally designed it where the biggest impacts of it won't happen until after the midterm elections, so they could have hidden from you the pain that this big ugly law will cause people in Louisiana, black, white, Republican, Democrat, East, North, South, West. Some of the largest populations of Medicaid-dependent people happen to be in our speaker's district. I mean, that's not a knock on the speaker. That's just a reality that, hey, man, what are you doing? This is impacting the people in our state, people that we see in the grocery store, the barbershop, we're walking our dogs, we're jogging on the levee. These are the people every day they go to school with their kids, you know, and so this resource fair will give us an opportunity to answer the questions, to help people who may have fallen through the cracks get back on the rolls, people that have concerns on what's going to happen in the next several months. It will be a smorgasbord of federal resources, government resources, nonprofit resources to assist individuals with whatever their questions or needs may be. Encourage people to come out. It's absolutely free of charge. Won't cost you a dime, but you do stand to gain a tremendous amount in the way of resource access, questions answered, and relationships going forward. You know, we do these. It feels like a town hall, a passport, a curbside resource. Seems like every week. It's probably at least once or twice a month in different parts of my district to make sure that, as I've always said, people shouldn't have to fight the bureaucratic madness of government. Wherever possible, we should bring it to the people, and that's what we're attempting to do.
And folks need some type of government identification. It doesn't have to be a driver's license, but some type of government identification. Is that correct?
Yes, you do. You need to have some type of government identification, something that it can be a passport if you have one, it can be a driver's license, it can be a state ID, it can be military, but it has to be something that's official. That's official that will allow us to access your files. You also have to sign a waiver that would give us permission to intervene on your behalf. So having your proper identification is important. Don't bring any cash. Cash is not accepted. The only way, if there's any fees that are associated with anything that you want to do outside of all the free resources, like, for example, if a person wanted to get a passport, there's a fee associated with that. But we never take cash. It can only be through electronic means or credit card. And the only time that I think that there's a time when cash may be required is for the Office of Vital Records. So if a person comes to the event today and they don't have any means of identifying themselves, they can go over to the table where the Office of Vital Records are and pay a nominal fee and get their birth certificate.
Wonderful.
And of
wonderful.
course, that birth certificate will give them the access they need. So we thought of everything. So we've got everything there for you. Please come out at University Medical Center from 11:30 to 2 o'clock today. Look forward to seeing you there.
All right. Lord's blessings, Congressman. We appreciate your joining us today, as you often do. And everybody should remember that is 11:30 to 2 p.m. today. And they can find out that info with Congressman Troy Carter's social media all over the place.
Everywhere.
All right.
At Rep. Troy Carter. At Rep. Troy Carter. And listen, God bless you, Tammy C. God bless you, Will Sutton. God bless WBOK. It's always an honor to be with you guys. Continue doing the Lord's work and giving access to the people the facts they need to know. God bless you both.
All right. Lord's blessings. Have a great day. All right, folks, we got to take a break, and we got to do that right now. After the break, in just a few minutes, guess what? We're going to be talking to City Councilman at Large, Matt Willard. So happy to have him on. Been a little while since we've talked to him on air, and looking forward to that talk about what's going on. He doesn't have a district. The whole city is his district.
Yes.
So this will be good. All right. We are going to take some calls later in the show about what's going on with Essence, because I know y'all fired up about that. So you make sure to call the talk line, which is what?
504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support in style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
New Orleans parents, is your child preparing for the ACT? Top Tutors for Us provides personalized test prep designed for African American students who will connect with tutors who look like them from top HBCUs. Our students receive targeted instruction, consistent practice, and the encouragement they need to raise their scores and compete for college scholarships. Founded right here in New Orleans, our award-winning program was designed with our students in mind. Don't wait until test day. Visit TopTutorsForUs.com and help your child begin preparing today.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 1230 a.m. See you on Saturday.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Black Cook County Clerk Monica Gordon is assuring voters that mail-in ballots remain a secure way to vote in Illinois.
If you want to return your mail ballot through the Postal Service, please do it early.
Her comments come after the Supreme Court paused parts of a lower court ruling on President Trump's executive order targeting mail-in voting ahead of the November election. NIPSCO says 99% of power has been restored in northwest Indiana after severe storms left 373,000 customers in the dark. Just over 100 utility customers in the predominantly black city of Gary are still without power today, while crews are finishing up repairs. And Jay-Z is bringing a special 30th anniversary pop-up experience to London. Opening today in Camden, the event will feature exclusive merchandise and celebrate the hip-hop icon's upcoming concert at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in September. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show. Thank you for tuning in since 7:02, 7:04, 7:12, or whatever time you tuned in. I hope you heard Kurt McDonald from Essence this morning. He was at the top of the hour. If you missed it, you might want to go after the show and play that back. And, of course, we had the congressman commenting on the Essence situation and more. And right now we're going to be jumping into conversation with City Councilman at Large, Matt Willard. Good morning, Councilman. You're on with Will Sutton and Tammy C. How are you?
Good morning, Will. Good morning, the city of New Orleans. I'm doing pretty well. Hope everybody is staying safe with this weather this morning.
Yeah, it's gotten tricky on us. But I want everybody to be safe out there. And unfortunately, there were some school-related accidents yesterday. No. And that's exactly why I ask people to be safe and remind them. So sometimes folks might think, why is he saying that again? Because of what happened yesterday. That's absolutely why. So, Councilman, you have had a new role since being elected to the city council, and unofficially, your district is the city of New Orleans, because you were elected not to a district, but to city. Your district is you aren't running for a district, but you asked the voters to elect you to represent them citywide. So stepping from the legislature, not into a district, but citywide. What's that been like?
It honestly, Will, it took some adjusting. For 6 years I was in the legislature, and I had a district that was largely composed of Gentilly. For a couple of years I represented Mid-City and had a couple of precincts in the east off that Dowman corridor. So coming into a citywide role, it was very helpful that you actually get a staff on the council when you're in the legislature. When you're in the legislature, you have one person that works for you. So having a staff definitely goes a long way. But you also have to manage your staff, right? But one of the issues that we had coming in was, what do we do about, district-related quality of life issues that come into our office? And I'm proud to say that we actually work really well with my colleagues. When we do get those quality of life issues in the districts, my office checks in with the district office to see if they need support, if they want us to just take the lead on it. Is this a situation where it helps to have two council members pushing for a resolution? And so I've embraced it. I love representing the city of New Orleans. Being in that at-large position actually allows me to have a wider focus on ways that we can move the city as a whole forward, instead of, focusing on some of those isolated local issues in the district. Because while, all the districts may share some common issues, there's more that are going to be prevalent in certain districts and not so prevalent in other districts. So I've embraced it. My team has embraced it, and I hope that we're making the people in the city of New Orleans proud of the work that we're doing.
We're so glad to have you in this position. You talked about how you work with some of the other council members and things. So what is the council's relationship? Tell us about the relationship with the mayor right now.
The council has a really strong relationship with the mayor right now, which I think is a blessing given everything that we've been having to deal with this year. I think a lot of people were optimistic when we came into office on January 12th. I think people are still optimistic, but it's no secret that we've had some issues at the state level, and I just think having the council and the mayor working together and essentially trying to row in the same direction is a blessing, and so I'm proud to say that.
Go ahead.
Well, speaking of the issues with this governor and the state, how are things going in that area? Are we making any progress?
Nothing really of substance. We're still kind of, I guess, in this waiting pattern. To my knowledge, the governor still won't meet with the mayor. And so obviously that's a big hurdle that we have to get over. I'm talking to my former colleagues in the legislature. I'm talking to, certain people who are close to the governor, and the common message is everybody wants to put this to bed and move forward. We have a lot of exciting things on the radar in the city of New Orleans, and it just makes it so much easier if we have a good partner a good partnership with the state. And we shouldn't, I don't think the state and the city should have this adversarial relationship. I mean, the city is still the revenue generator for the state. When people go out of the country, they're quick to say they're from New Orleans, even if they live two hours away. Because,
That's true.
More people in the world know New Orleans over Louisiana, and that's just a fact, And so I'm looking forward to when all of this is put to rest, so that we can, work in tandem to move our city and our state forward.
Well,
and it's what the people deserve.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you came into the position from the legislature, and that it's nothing for you to pick up the phone, send a text to somebody in the legislature about city issues, state issues, because you've developed those relationships, and at a time when we seem to have a icy cold relationship, depending on how you look at it, between two people or one side with the other side or vice versa. Somebody's got to keep talking because I know the governor said it's no longer so goes New Orleans, so goes Louisiana, but so goes Louisiana, so goes New Orleans. But more than 25% of the gross product of the state coming from New Orleans and New Orleans area. Doesn't sound like they can ignore New Orleans to me. So let me just follow up on that relationship. Do you see things continuing to moving forward between New Orleans and the state, even though the governor won't talk to the mayor and the mayor has asked to talk with him, but he continues to say no? Are other things working with the state?
What I'll say right now is, I think we have to take a step back because a lot of the talk right now is the impacts on the city of New Orleans, but I think you need to look at the greater New Orleans area. That includes Jefferson Parish, that includes St. Tammany, that includes St. Bernard. And, without question, that is your largest economic generator. That is your largest concentration of population in the state. And when New Orleans takes a hit, the entire greater New Orleans area takes a hit. So this is a priority. To answer the question you just posed, I'm not sure, Will. I hesitate to try to handicap what's the next move or what's going to happen. I can tell you from my perspective, I'm ready for it to end. I'm ready for us to, act like adults and start having those conversations and start working in collaboration, because the better the city of New Orleans does, the better the state does. But for now, it seems like a hard line in the sand has been drawn. And while we, try to wash that line away, I just don't know when we get there, and I don't know exactly what move gets us there. I also have a big concern, to be honest with you. I have a concern that next year is a re-election year.
Yep.
So next year, all of the House of Representatives members, all of the state senators, the governor, the attorney general, all the statewide elected officials are up for re-election next year. And if there are advisors telling some of those statewide officials, some of those legislators, that pushing on this fight with the city of New Orleans is going to help you in the polls, or it's going to help you to raise money for your reelection campaign, it's not far-fetched to see them continue this fight, which obviously is not ideal, obviously not what we need in the city of New Orleans right now. But that's something that we can't forget about either.
All right, one more question along those lines before we take a call. We got a call on the line. Do you think the governor would take a meeting with you?
I don't know.
Are you open to requesting that, since he won't meet with the mayor and you're a city council representative for the whole city?
I'm not opposed to it. Everything that I've heard, this all goes back to the grand jury indictment of the attorney general, and everything that I've heard coming from the governor and the attorney general's camp is that they truly believe somebody put the grand jury up to it, right? And so they really believe that it was, a targeted indictment that somebody orchestrated. And if that's the case, then, this is me, but they probably want to hang somebody out to dry. They want to have somebody that they can point to and say, you're responsible for this, and now you have to pay the cost, whatever that cost may be. So I think until maybe they finish up their investigation, that we may not make progress there. But I'm not opposed to meeting with the governor, but, it's food for thought.
Well, seems to me if they think somebody or somebodies were involved with that grand jury and the grand jury indictment, it's not everybody. And it's one,
Right.
2, 3, 4, or 5 people. And I haven't heard them mention anybody's name on the city council. So my point is, if the governor doesn't want to meet with the mayor, which I think he should do, then other elected officials should be having conversations with the governor. But of course, the governor has his own schedule. And I think it's reasonable for the governor to continue conversations about whatever, including like SpaceX. No, it is not in New Orleans, but there are a lot of New Orleanians who are thinking about jobs over there. And it seems to me city council is very interested in that.
Yeah. No, you bring up great points, and which is, one of the reasons we need to put it to bed. You talk about a project like SpaceX, we're going to have workforce development pathways for careers over there. And, there's a lot of reasons that the city of New Orleans and the governor and the state should be talking. And, I don't want to make it seem like I'm not talking to anybody, but no, I haven't spoken to the governor. I haven't requested to talk to him or to meet with him either. But you bring up fair points.
All right. Well, I ask you to consider that, and as one, 2 or 3, or the council as a group. If you won't meet with the mayor, how about meeting with our city council or city council representatives? Food for thought.
Okay.
All right, we got a call.
Yeah.
We got a call. Good morning, Jamie Davis calling in You're armed with Will Sutton, Tammy C., and, of course, Councilman Matt Willard. How are you, sir?
I'm well, and good morning to you all. I was wanting to call Will just to elaborate on SpaceX and also on Jeff Landry and this warpath that he has gone on the city of New Orleans.
Mr. Davis, do you have a question for Matt Willard? Because this is a Matt Willard segment, and if not, it's okay. You can call later during the show, but I want to make sure that while we have time with the councilman, that we give him an opportunity to have a conversation with us and also any callers. Do you have something for Matt Willard?
Yes. Well, the question that I would have for Matt is, what do you see in reconciliation that can mend the relationship between the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana? That is probably the best question that I could give him, because that's in the range of what I wanted to talk about.
All right. All right.
Is rebuilding that relationship between the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana.
All right. Lord's blessings, sir. All right.
All right. Thank you. Will, was that Jamie Davis running for U.S. Senate?
Yes, it was.
All right. Keep pushing. Keep pushing hard, brother.
All right.
Look, earlier this year, if you would have told me we would be in this position, I would be shocked. When I went to the legislative session early during the first few weeks of session, man, all of, not all, but so many representatives and senators were just excited about the new mayor and the new council in the city of New Orleans. They were excited to partner with us to move our state forward, because they understand that in order for the state to grow, in order for the state to prosper, New Orleans has to be doing twice as good. They were excited that myself and Councilmember Jason Hughes, who had just left the legislature, were now on the city council. They thought that they had strong partners that the state and the city could work together with. And fast forward, we're now almost in September, and things just seem untenable. So for me, a lot of it is we have to remove the ego, and we have to be honest and transparent. But more importantly, Will, above all else, we have to communicate. We have to have that face-to-face direct communication. We all understand that people in the city of New Orleans will never agree with everything that the state does, and vice versa, right? They're going to hate some of the stuff we do. We're going to hate some of the stuff that they do. But at the end of the day, we have to represent the people who voted us into office. And so for me right now, it's tough to see us getting out of this tenuous situation when we can't even have those face-to-face conversations. And so, that's something that I'm going to work harder on. I expect to spend more time in the legislature next session. I expect to spend more time on the phone call talking to my colleagues, and, even trying to, check in with the governor and his team, because that's really what it's going to take, that communication. But right now we need an off-ramp. We need an off-ramp to get us out of this toxic situation. And I don't have all the answers on how to do that right now.
All right. We got another caller. Good morning, Alicia. You're on with Will Sutton, Tammy C., and Councilman Willard.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Councilman at Large. How are you? This is
Hey, Miss Alicia.
Summer.
Good morning.
Congratulations on, your other stuff. But
Thank you. I just got engaged, Joe.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
What I want to say is that we're dealing with a bully, and you have to stand against the bully. You don't have to shoot marbles with them. You could just walk along and good morning, good evening, that's it. You don't bow down to a bully. The thing that gets me is that what Liz Morrell did to the city council with sending that threatening letter was illegal. And I'm not understanding why they're taking a hard line, because I sat on a board where I discovered one of our employees was doing payroll fraud. We had to call the Attorney General's office to get advice what we were supposed to do, and that was Jeff Landry's Attorney General's office. Jeff Landry told us that we had to prosecute that person. And they weren't even so much concerned that the employee took the taxpayers' money. They were more concerned that this person threatened and tried to bully me from going after her because of what the Attorney General said. So that was what they were vehemently pissed off about that, more so than the payroll fraud. So if he can tell us to go after that person, why can't we do the same thing to his own Attorney General from the same advice they gave us just a couple of years ago? So I say all this to say, stand. New Orleans have y'all back, and don't bow. Don't bow. So y'all have a good one.
All right. Lord's blessings. Have a great day.
Thank you, Miss Alicia. I really appreciate those words. I guess what I'll say is right now the situation is really bad. And the main reason for that is in order for the city of New Orleans to sell bonds, to borrow money for anything like that, we have to go before the State Bond Commission. And that State Bond Commission is very political. The governor, the attorney general, in many ways kind of dictate the outcomes on that State Bond Commission. And so right now, the relationship is so bad, we can't even go before that commission. So if we want to go to the bond market on a capital project, a redevelopment of New Orleans East, or for the new charity hospital downtown, anything like that, those entities have to go before that State Bond Commission and get approval, and the Bond Commission can shoot it down just because they want to. They don't have to provide like sound reason or logic based in arithmetic. And so, I do believe that the council and the mayor has stood up and fought back, and I believe that we were on the side of justice in doing what was right. But as elected officials, as the people who are in charge of making sure that the city is a great place to live, we also have a responsibility to work toward a resolution. And so, that's kind of how I'm thinking about things right now.
All right. Councilman, there's another caller. We have Eric calling in. Good morning, Eric. You're on with Wilson, Tammy C., and Councilman Matt Willard. How are you, sir?
Yeah, God bless you. Yeah, I also would suggest just standing up to the bullies, because bullies won't stop on their own. So you have to really stand up to them, otherwise they will continue to bully. And so you basically somewhat answered my question. What is, other than the bond issuances, what are some other the ways that the city can go about growing the population of the city? We've had so much loss in population. What are some of the ways that the city council can help increase the population of the city?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't necessarily believe there's one lever we can pull to increase the population in the city of New Orleans. I know a lot of people have left because of affordability issues. People have left because of politics going on at the state level. People have left to get better jobs. So there's a lot of things that we have to do. One of the focus areas that we had coming into this year was to make sure that we do everything we can to improve the quality of life, which is, we were creative in utilizing bond funding to pay for employees working on capital projects with DPW. That has allowed us to do a lot more street paving, putting up more street lights. It's allowed us to do sidewalk and curb repairs. Also on the jobs portion, there's a lot of projects moving forward right now. Some of them are sort of in limbo, but that'll move the needle for us as well. You have the port expansion project. You have Charity Hospital, which we hope will come online in the next few years. You have the new Omni Hotel. You have the River District. We have those economic corridors, those 2 economic corridors in New Orleans East. So all of those, once they come online, are going to provide thousands of new jobs for people in the city of New Orleans. And then the affordability issue, man, I mean, talk about terrible timing, right? We inherited this really bad budget situation, and we're at this point really just trying to keep the lights on. But my focus has been on what can we do to keep moving forward? What can we do to show incremental progress month after month after month? And that's been the focus area. So reach out to my office, reach out to your council members. Let us know what you need. Let us know what you would like to see. If you have nuisance areas in your neighborhood, send that to us. Overgrown lots, street lights that are out. That's some of the work that we do on a regular basis. And that's the things that people in other places get to take for granted. So I'm trying to make it that same way here in the city of New Orleans.
All right. Lord's blessings, Eric. Have a great day. All right. Up next, we've got Reverend Calhoun calling in for you. You're on with Will Sutton, Tammy C., and, of course, Councilman Matt Willard. How are you, sir?
Good morning to all. I'm doing well. Well, I got a couple of quick questions. Number one, it seems like the governor is hell-bent on trying to take New Orleans as being the revenue generator for the state. Matt, given that, he's been here 3 times trying to control revenue that comes out of New Orleans. Mm-hmm. From your perspective, and this is my question, how much money has the city lost from federal monies that used to come directly to the city? Are you aware of any money being cut, not coming to New Orleans from the federal government? Given this data center that they want to put in New Orleans East, if you could quickly speak to that. And I'll just let those two be my 2 questions for the morning, and let me know what your thoughts are.
All right, Lord's blessings, sir. Have a great day.
Yeah,
Councilman.
First of all, good morning, Reverend Calhoun. On the federal money side, like many cities, New Orleans has lost federal dollars. When President Trump came into office, they did the little Doge program, and so there were many entities that lost funding, grant programs that went away, also nonprofits and research partners that the city would partner with who lost their funding as well, to where they became more reliant on city and state funding. As far as the total dollar amount, I can't say. I don't have that off the top of my head, but it certainly is a lot less than what we were receiving 2-3 years ago. On the data center issue, earlier this year, the council passed a 1-year moratorium on data centers in the city of New Orleans, and we asked the City Planning Commission to look at data centers and whether they are a fit in the city of New Orleans. I believe that the City Planning Commission has wrapped up that report. The council hasn't taken it up right now, but I can tell you I have a hard time seeing any real data centers come into the city of New Orleans, just, given what's going on and all the controversy behind data centers popping up all over the country. I mean, you're seeing right now governors of states who warmly embrace data centers trying to walk it back because their constituents are upset about, the data centers and their impact on their communities. So I don't really see that as an industry in the city of New Orleans moving forward. I don't want to speak for all of my council colleagues once we take up that CPC report, but I just have a hard time seeing data centers come into the city of New Orleans right now. Not to mention they don't really create many jobs. I believe it's like the big one, the Meta one up in Richland Parish, once it's built, we'll have 400 or so permanent jobs and you're talking about for a multi-billion-dollar construction project to build this data center. So certainly a lot of revenue in the beginning of it, but long term, it's just no jobs for the community based on the cost that you put onto the community. So again, have a tough time seeing those come into the city of New Orleans, but I'm hesitant to talk for my council colleagues.
Okay. Well, thank you, Councilman, for joining us today. I know you got some other things to do.
Anytime, Will. My schedule's much crazier than it was when I was in the legislature, but happy to come on whenever you want me to.
All right. Thank you so much. Lord's blessings, sir. Have a great day.
Take care, everyone.
All right. All right, folks. We are going to take a break, and we want to hear from you. There's been a lot. We have heard a lot and talked about it a lot, and I'm sure some of this is exciting to some of you all, great concerns for some of you all, and probably making some of you all pissed off.
Just a little.
So Tammy C, we're going to take a break, take some more calls. What's that talk line number?
It's 504-582-9422. Call us.
This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Thursday morning, I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. New Orleans police search for a suspect wanted for a deadly shooting in a busy strip mall parking lot. It happened on Wednesday at a business near the intersection of Crowder and Lake Forest Boulevard. One man who works in the area says he heard a gunshot around 11 a.m. The car that was shot at then crashed into a small electrical utility building next to a furniture store. New Orleans police say they found the man in the driver's seat dead at the scene. New Orleans police are also searching for a suspect in a triple stabbing in Holly Grove. Investigators say 3 people were hurt in the stabbing just before noon on Wednesday. It happened on South Carrollton Avenue near Costco. The victims were taken to the hospital, and the incident is still under investigation. Now, if you know anything about either of these crimes, call Crime Stoppers. You know the number. It's 504-822-1111. Now, despite the violence, the Metropolitan Crime Commission shows most crime is down in New Orleans. So far this year, there have been 99 shootings and 55 homicides. This same time last year, there were 130 shootings and 83 homicides. And a 70-year-old man is waking up behind bars this morning, accused in several rape cases. Roger Hamilton is facing 3 counts of second-degree rape and 1 count of aggravated kidnapping. The charges are tied to 3 separate incidents which police say happened in 1997, 2008, and 2013. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. And have a great day.
What can a nation with the blues learn from a blues people? Black America has a lot to say, especially given the current condition of our country. Every weekday afternoon, one show creates a space for us to be heard. It's the Tavis Smiley Show, weekdays, 1 to 4 p.m. on WBOK. Real people, real talk, real issues, real solutions, politics, culture, community, the conversations that matter most to you, hosted by me, Tavis Smiley. So tune in to the Tavis Smiley Show, 1 to 4 p.m. weekdays right here on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Step back into time and experience the moments that shaped our world. At the National World War II Museum, this world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling the stories of the American experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. Go to nationalww2museum.org and plan your visit today.
New Orleans is built to host.
And at the New Orleans Ernest N. Memorial Convention Center, it is where big ideas, major events, and careers come together under one roof. As the 6th largest convention center in the country with a team recognized as a national top workplace, we are proud to power the events that keep our city moving forward. Our staff of more than 450 brings nearly 3,900 years of combined experience, an average of almost 9 years each. If you're looking for a robust benefits package, career stability, and opportunity, visit mccno.com to explore open positions today.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Today is a WDSU First Warning Weather Alert Day. We are tracking heavy rain for the first half of the day with the potential for redevelopment for the second half of the day. Any of the storms could be strong to severe with the potential for street flooding. Because of rain, highs only reach the mid to upper 80s today. A few more storms possible for Friday afternoon, with those highs reaching the upper 80s to low 90s. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reshaw.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton here with Tammy C.
Good morning.
And it is 8:41 a.m. And guess what? It's still rainy out there. So good news is the temperatures will be lower because there's cloud cover and rain and less sun. And I'm going to say the other good news is that we have some liquid sunshine.
Yes.
So, all right, it's 8:42 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8:45. You got 3 minutes. And if you need to be there at 9, you got a little while longer. But considering the rain, you might want to take that in consideration so that you can be more careful than you might usually be. Watch out for our babies and kiddos around the schools. Make sure that they live and get to where they are going, and make sure you get to where you are going to. All right, we've got a call. Good morning, Aaron. You're on Will Sutton and Tammy C. How are you, sir? Aaron? All right, Aaron, you're going to have to call back. Not sure what happened there, but we appreciate you calling in, and you call right back, and we will get you on. That talk line number is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. All right, so we welcome your call, and we also welcome calls from others who have been listening or just tuning in. Lots of good stuff that we talked about today. There is an event going on tonight, Tammy C.
Yeah, it sounds like a great event. It's something to educate you about voting. It's election information and district updates tonight, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Neutral Ground Community Center. And I see a distinguished person is a member of the panel, Mr. Sutton. Tell us about this event.
Oh, thank you, Tommy C. I think the most important thing is that COP is doing the event. And they were nice enough to ask me to be a part of it. I love that they've got a also distinguished group of people other than me to participate on this panel. So anybody showing up will hear from City Council member for District A, Amy McCarron, Sharon Jason Bernard from the
Lower Ninth Ward Voting Coalition, and CC Campbell Rock, journalist extraordinaire and activist. And there'll be folks from the New Orleans Voting Registration Office helping with voter services, outreach, and information. You don't know how to register to vote, they'll help you. You don't know how to make sure that you're registered to vote. You think you might be expunged or taken off the rolls, they can help you. You're thinking about your kids, they can help you. So all of that will be happening this evening at 6. And we'll also be talking about a little different set of ballot measures that will be on the ballot in the fall, in November. We've been used to ballot measures seeking to change the Constitution of Louisiana, and we know that most recently we've had 3, 4, or 5 on the ballot. Well, get ready, folks. This fall, we got 10.
10. Oh my gosh, I got to start doing my research.
10.
Yes.
10. And I know some of you all will hear that number and say, I'm not going to bother.
Bother.
But it's really important, and I strongly encourage you to vote, not just on the people running for office, but to vote on each of these 10 ballot measures. They are important, and we'll be talking about that tonight if you are interested in finding out more about that and some other issues in District A and the community in the city. So we'll be talking about that tonight, 6 to 8 p.m. So I hope you'll join us.
I'm really glad that you guys are doing that because, as we all know, voting these days is more important than ever. And being informed about what you're voting for is critical.
All right, we got to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to take some more calls. And I can't go out without saying something about some of the stuff that we've heard.
We've heard a lot.
And I want to hear from Tammy, too. And we want to hear from you. What's that talk line number, Tammy C?
It's 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
On WBOK 1230 AM.
A 17-year-old boy recently fell to his death at the infamous Plaza Towers high-rise, a blighted structure which has been abandoned since 2002. For whatever reason, the young man was there with friends. No one should be injured or die because a dilapidated building has been empty and neglected for years. My question, what obligation does government have when a privately owned hazard remains standing, unsecured, and dangerous year after year? Jacques St. Anne, a Belle Chase High School student, died after entering Plaza Towers with friends. According to police, the group climbed to an upper floor, and while descending a stairwell with no safety railings, Jacques fell to his death. Another teenager suffered serious lacerations to his arm and wrist. Plaza Towers has a long history of dangerous mishaps. In May 2021, a bicyclist was struck and injured by a piece of material that fell from the skyscraper. In January 2022, firefighters answered a 2-alarm fire at the structure. Investigators discovered multiple points of origin. In January 2023, more debris fell from the tower. In April 2023, firefighters were again called to the building. And the next day, a homeless man fell to his death from the tower. Former Mayor LaToya Cantrell subsequently acknowledged that demolition was being considered. The Inspector General questioned whether the city's response was adequate and pushed for stronger action. Now, to be fair, demolition isn't cheap. Current estimates range around $25 to $28 million, an improbable challenge for a city that's hard-pressed for cash. Meanwhile, city officials are hoping the proposal by the building's owner to develop the high-rise structure into apartments will materialize sometime in 2027. But similar proposals have surfaced and vanished since 2007. The developer may eventually turn Plaza Towers into apartments, and I'd like to see that happen. But a proposal is not a safety plan, and doing nothing to secure a hazardous building is not acceptable. Do we wait to see what the Plaza Tower does when we've waited for him to take action for 24 years? I ask again, what obligation does government have when a privately owned hazard remains standing, unsecured, and dangerous year after year? This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
This summer, the place to be is downtown. From incredible restaurants and shopping to retail, wellness, and so much more. Enjoy special offers and discounts from participating downtown businesses all season long. Brought to you by the Downtown Development District. Whether it's after work, date night, or weekend fun, there's always something happening downtown. Plan your next outing at participating locations like Coppervine, Mothers, the Audubon Aquarium, and Riverwalk Outlets. Visit downtownnola.com. Summer starts here.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Good morning. Wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It's 8:52 a.m. I'm Will Sutton here with Tammy C.
Good morning.
We've got another call. Good morning, Ken. You're on with Will Sutton and Tammy C. How are you, sir? Ken? Ken? You're going to have to call back. I don't know what happened. So call right back, please.
Please.
What's that talk line, Tammy?
504-582-9422.
Ken, we really want to hear from you. You don't call every day or every week, but you always have something good to say or a good question to ask. So I hope you'll call right back, 504-582-9422. Well, we got a few minutes before we sign off for this show, Tammy. We had a lot of good stuff today.
We had a lot of good stuff, a lot of issues that we really need to pay attention to.
What do you think about these Essence developments with the steering committee saying in a letter? I mean, I haven't read it yet, so I guess I can't call it a demand letter, but serious request for some details due today. And we heard Kurt McDonald from Essence and Sundown say that they will respond. And, of course, how they respond, we don't know.
Right.
And what the steering committee requested specifically, we don't know. But I understand it's similar to the request that the mayor made
a few months ago, asking for financials, asking for marketing and promotion expenses, asking for, have you paid your bills? Are you up to date? We want to know that before this Essence Festival happens in July. We want to know about local vendors. The mayor was asking for quite a number of things.
Yes.
And meanwhile, Essence put forward a Essence 365 proposal, which was inclusive of doing things other than the July 4th weekend and broadening the Essence footprint in New Orleans and even other parts of the state. You think that's a good idea, or should they restrict it to the 4th of July weekend?
Well, I think what the steering committee and the mayor are asking for, the information, is valid information to know. We want to know, have your bills been paid? I mean, those are critical. That's critical information. And I hope that at least they can both come to the table and have a discussion about Essence going forward. It would be great if we could extend it past New Orleans into the rest of the state and do it 365 days. But I think it's critical that we talk about July 4th. I mean, 30 years to have Essence coming here, that's people's annual pilgrimage to the city. And so I think we really need to look at that and the impact it would have without it.
Yeah, well, the number of hotel rooms were down this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the mayor and others are looking at that and saying we're used to having thousands of people here, but not as many are filling up the hotel rooms. So that's one indicator. It's not the indicator, my point of view, because these days we got short-term rentals, and
yes.
a number of us get called by friends saying, "What are you doing 4th of July weekend?" "I think I'm coming. Can I stay with you?"
Yes. They're staying with their mom and them.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So I agree with you. I mean, the city needs more information, and Congressman said so in so many words. And he also said he doesn't want to go to a competitive selection process. He wants to see us stick with Essence and grow what we have and authorize greater investment for a greater return on that investment. And that might be the sticky points.
And probably another reason why hotel occupancy was down is that our economy is not nationwide. Our economy is not where it needs to be.
Right.
So some people were looking at their budget and said, I can't do Essence this year. So they need to take that into consideration too.
All right. Well, we're going to call it a wrap for the Good Morning Show
already
today. Thank you to Kurt McDonald from Essence. Thank you again to Congressman Troy Carter for coming on. And don't forget about his community event at 11:30 today until 2 p.m. Look up his social media for more info about that. Thank you for City Councilman at Large, Matt Willard, for calling in and giving us some time, providing some insights and answering some questions about city goings on and city relationships among City Council, the mayor, and the state. And thank you for calling in. Appreciate those who called you, Alicia, Reverend Calhoun, Eric, and Aaron. So we appreciate everybody who called, and we certainly appreciate those who have been listening without calling or chatting. We know you're there, and we love that you tune in to this show. But we're not done here today at WBOK, because we've got the front porch coming up next,
And after that, we've got Tavis Smiley and then the G-Man with the reality check coming up this afternoon. That's going to do it for us. Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what he says. It's 8:59. Be careful wherever you're going.
Be safe.
Bye, bye, bye. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day